Hey guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review for Married at First Sight Season 16, Episode 7, called Jamaican Me Crazy. And I'm so tired of this damn title. We use this for Married at First Sight. We use this for Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion. This title is played out. Why? Because they're in Jamaica, I understand, but let's keep this title for the little wine coolers of Seagrams, okay? So anyway, we starting off with Gina doing some video diary. You know, she disgusted by Clint and, you know, calls him a red flag because he has no remorse for saying that he's, you know, used to being with slender and more athletic women because he don't know how many times Gina be going to the gym and working out every day. Okay? It's not about, you know, physical, you know, him being probably with more petite females. No, that's just rude, and he needs to read the room. Even though she don't know how to read the room, he needs to read the room. So, you know, she did her little video diary, whatever. Then we get to Clint. He sits down with Chris and Eris to tell them what done happened, venting to them. And, you know, Eris tries to be kumbaya and lets Clint know how Gina may have interpreted it. So then he, you know, he's going to go back and say, well, she not really feeling no remorse for calling me a ginger, all this stuff. He don't say that word for word. I'm just paraphrasing. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like, listen, bro, females gonna talk, you know, just apologize, bro. They didn't say that, but that's just the vibe I was getting from Eris. Like, I understand what you saying, but at the same time, it's one of those things like happy wife, happy life, which is incorrect. You know, me as a female, that's incorrect. You know, happy spouse, happy house. That's how it should be, but, you know, because this little thing, all the other girls upset and stuff, you know, kumbayaing with Gina and whatnot. So pretty much Clint is the bad guy. You know, he got to go apologize and make things right. So I guess that's what Eris was trying to tell Clint. So he's like, yeah, you know, maybe you're right. I'm like, yes, please, let's squash this. Let this be the last episode we talk about this, because I'm not trying to go into episode 8 still talking about how Gina felt offended when she doesn't have no remorse for making Clint feel offended. So Clint did say it wasn't fair, but you know what? I mean, I don't think you're going to get past this unless you apologize to Gina, which is wrong, because I don't feel like she was genuine in her apology to him for calling him a ginger, because and Keisha Napoleon don't know what it is for redheads to be called ginger. You know, they don't understand why that's offensive. So I feel like it's a lose-lose situation for Clint. But, you know, it is what it is. So we move on to everybody meeting up for dinner. And Clint, I guess, before they got to dinner, went and chatted with Gina at the resort room, hotel room, whatever. And he apologized to her. So she did accept the apology, and she was appreciative of the fact that he apologized to her more on a genuine term. You know, nobody's saying this word for word. I'm just paraphrasing from what the conversation she was telling us in the confessional. So then when they all got together at the dinner, that's when he stood up to make his formal apology, kind of not sort of apology, to everybody, especially the females, for feeling offended by him, saying he's used to being with slender and more athletic females. Why necessarily they was offended? I don't know. I guess because they felt offended and upset for Gina. But at the same time, I'm like, from what we were seeing on the after party last week, this seemed like a whole facade, because it seems like, you know, you guys knew why he even said that, because she's the one who, like, can we address the fact that she brought it up first, that she continuously, even after him apologizing, still brought up stuff about attraction and chemistry. Like, so we're just gonna put a blind eye to her and all her little antics, but everything's gonna be on Clint. Oh, okay, this is how we're gonna go. Listen, I'm all for girl power at the same, you know, I'm all for girl power. But at the same time, let's be real here. Gina's the one who brought it up. She didn't read the room in the first place. So I understand we upset that he said it in front of everybody and stuff. But this is on TV, okay? The whole damn world's seen this thing, okay? I understand maybe for principality, okay? But this is all on TV. We all saw Gina say that to Clint, and of course we're gonna see Gina say it in front of everybody. I don't understand why everybody's so, you know, gung-ho about it. I guess because there's nothing else going on in this season, so we're just gonna make this thing like the big thing. So, you know, Even after he apologized, Nicole's still not really feeling Clint like that. Oh, Nicole, we don't care, okay? Listen, you just got gypped. We're gonna get to you, Nicole, but you just got gypped. So Chris could have his dogs in the apartment, and you gotta, just see Charlie on FaceTime or whenever you go to your apartment to go get some more clothes for the shared apartment. Like I said, we'll get to her in a second, but she not feeling Clint. It doesn't matter. You're not his wife, Nicole. So I mean, okay. And then Nicole lets everybody know, Clint know, and everybody obviously listening, that if Gina can give him a second chance, so can they. Because Gina, I guess, backed him up saying he did apologize to her and all that stuff. So I'm like, I mean, give him a second chance. Like, you guys act like he done cheated on Gina or something. Really? Really? So are we gonna give Gina a second chance for telling Clint, calling him a ginger? Like, y'all, this is stupid. This is really stupid. I'm looking at this. I'm like, really? Like this was really that big of a thing that we, okay, guys, we're gonna give Clint a second chance, okay? He apologized to Gina and Gina accepted it, so we're gonna accept it on her behalf. If she didn't accept the apology, then we were still gonna be mad at Clint. Get a grip, guys. Get a grip. Anyway, so like I said, since Gina's so obsessed with chemistry and attraction, she brought it up again to ask everybody, what would they rate their spouse in the marriage since it's been a week so far. And before that, Clint kept on ranting about what he's saying. Everybody goes through a situation, it's not just us guys. It's not just us. Other people got things going on too. Clint, listen, you already apologized. Like, you're making this more awkward than it needs to be. Okay, just stop talking. Okay, just stop. So since Gina wanted to ask that question about attraction and stuff, like, but we not gonna fault her for anything that she's done, even though she brought up this whole situation because she kept talking about attraction since day one. But okay, this is not Gina's fault. This is all on Clint. Clint is the one to blame for everything, not him getting a little bruised ego because Gina want to get on him. So then he want to try to do little shade back, and it backfired on him. Anyway, so we got McKinley and Dom going first. McKinley, they all pretty much was going through a spiel of how things were going, what they need to work on and stuff. I'm not going to go through all that because I didn't write it all down, because for why? It's the same basic things that all these couples be doing every season, trying to fake the funk. Like, there's things I got to work on, but I think things are going good so far. I'm just gonna say 7. That's a safe number, right? I'm right. I'm going to go with 7.5. And then the other person gonna be like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing too. Like, I was thinking exactly to the point. Like, you said 7.2, so I want to say 7.2 also. But for the sake of it, I'm gonna say okay. So I'm not gonna go through the whole spiel of what they said, okay? Because it's all BS. So McKinley and Dom went first. McKinley said 7.5. Dom agrees and says 7.5. We then get to Chris and Nicole. Chris says 8.2. Nicole was the one that was like, yeah, I was thinking exactly 8.2. Right to the decimal. Yeah, 8.2. But, if I'm just basing it off this week, it would really be close to a 10. But because of the fact I know that when we get back to the house, the shared apartment, we may have differences and stuff. I'm a little bit nervous about all that. So, but other than that, if it was just based off this week, it would be almost a 10, yeah. Then we get to who's next? Okay, we get to Kirsten and Shaq. Kirsten says 7, so Shaq says 7. Then we get to Gina and Clint. Gina says 5, Clint says 5.5. Because of the fact they was able to overcome this little obstacle that they had of Gina just being dramatic. Excuse me, like I said, putting all the blame on Clint and then wanting to threaten, okay, we're not going to talk for the rest of the honeymoon because of the fact that you're not remorseful for your apology. But there was nothing wrong with me calling you a ginger, even though I would think it's universal, but clearly it's not unless, Keisha and I bully him and Gina just, trying to fake the funk to make it look like they're ignorant about the situation, which I feel like, I don't know. I just think they just trying to put it on Clint. But I'm not Clint. I'm not one of those females. So, if that's what you like, that's what you like. Just like Gina can say she don't like no gingers, redheads, Gina, not gingers, redheads. listen, whatever. If that's what you like, it is what it is. Do they like you is the real question. But that's if that's that's what you like. Go ahead. Do you? Anywho, after lastly we get to Eris and Jasmine. And Eris says no, Jasmine first says 7.5/8. Eris then says 7. And after they went through that, I'm like, they all lying. All 10 of them. All of them lying. They want to go with safe number 7. And like, why was this even a question? Gina, did the producers tell you to ask this question? Because I'm like, this is stupid. This is literally stupid. Like, we know y'all lying. And even McKinley, pointed that out. I'm like, thank you, McKinley. All y'all lying. And I don't know why McKinley pointed it out, because I'm like, McKinley, y'all probably lying too. So, what was the purpose of saying that? But no one really says anything. And then Chris then asks Eris, does he see himself falling in love with Jasmine? So, all the girls are like, oh, good answer. Yeah, that was a great answer. So, Eris says, that's what he signed up for. Give some BS answer. And Chris tells us in a confessional that he doesn't believe that not Clint, but Eris is ready to be a husband. I mean, maybe Clint's not ready to be a husband either, but more so Eris not ready to be a husband and Jasmine's ready to be a wife. Listen, Chris, you ain't saying nothing that nobody else did not say yet in these past 7 episodes, okay? His hating ass cousin been trying to tell us since day one, and you know what? We should have listened to her. She's still a hating ass cousin. She gonna always be a hating ass cousin. That's her name for the rest of this season. But at the same time, I can't deny that she was right. So you ain't saying nothing that we already don't know, Chris. Thank you very much. We move then on to day 8 of marriage, and it's everyone's last day on their honeymoon. And Clint lets us know when they're waking up that he got some stomach cramps, and things are coming out of both ends. Gina's like, did you really have to tell everybody that? Thank you so much, Clint, for letting us know that, you're not used to eating curried chicken, jerk chicken, oxtails, stuff with seasonings. You probably had a spicy Jamaican patty for the first time. So, I could understand that maybe your intestines are not used to the spices, that went down your esophagus when you was eating all Jamaican food, So it's understandable, if you keep eating stuff with flavor, then eventually, your body will get right, okay? Just give it a few more tries and you'll be all right, take what is that? Imodium thing? You'll be fine. Take some Motrin, you'll be fine, okay? Okay. At least you get to go back home. So just incorporate more spices into your palate and you'll be A-okay, all right? We then move on to Eris. He telling us he feel guilty for not being interested into Jasmine as much as she's into him, because she thinks he's a 12 per his words, and he only sees her as a 3-4. Okay, whatever, Eris. We then move on to Dom and McKinley. They're eating breakfast together, and they're having a serious conversation, sort of, kind of, and she heard him say that, he's doing all these things for her benefit, because she wants to do these things. So she doesn't want him to do it for her. She wants him to do it because he actually wants to do it. But then Mac tells her, like, listen, but that's not who I am. I'm more of an introvert. I like to stay to myself. I like to be calm, cool, collective, like chilling on the beach type of thing. Not really doing all these horseback riding, all that stuff. Especially when Doodoo gonna be all up on my knee, brushing against my leg and stuff under the water and stuff. So I'm not really trying to do all that. McKinley, I kind of feel you. I feel like I'll be traumatized if, like, horse poop brushed my knee in the water. So I understand. I completely understand. But Dom doesn't understand. She says she does, but I don't think she really does. And so, he likes to. I don't be writing what they be saying word for word, but I guess he wants to be himself, and being himself is joking around and stuff, like how he be joking around with his brother. So then Dom proceeds to tell him, like, listen, I ain't your brother. Which you not, Dom, but at the same time, like, I get what he's trying to say. more so he wants to be able to be himself without being judged. And I feel like Dom, she's judging everything he does because she ain't feeling homeboy. Which is, listen, I understand if you're not feeling homeboy, Dom, but you don't gotta break him down to just be like, listen, I'm not feeling you like that, and I don't think this is gonna work. But this in case lies the point of why did you even come on the show, Dom, to make your mother happy? If you're not ready to be in a marriage and if you want to be partnering with your girls, you should have told your mom, I'm not going on this show. Let the other person do it who really wants to be on here, because at this point you're just doing this to make your mother happy. And your mama needs to know, listen, grandkids are going to come in due time, but let Dawn figure out when she want to have those kids, okay? Because clearly she ain't trying to be here. She want to be having a good time going to the club with her girls, okay? Not so going to the beach, hanging out, lounging around with McKinley, in the basement of his friend's house. I'm just saying, why McKinley need to get with Taylor? Okay, his girlfriend or female friend, that he's staying at her people's house to begin with. So he just need to get with Taylor at this point. Anyway, anything else to say? No, not really. He just wants to be himself, and he sees that it's either Dom's way or the highway. And Dom says she's trying, and she doesn't want him to feel attacked. And he's just saying now it's getting awkward. It's been awkward, McKinley. It's been awkward since you was trying to seduce her in the pool, like an episode or two ago, and she wasn't feeling you. She was just looking so like, okay, yeah. He's just like touching me, and it's like, oh, like she just looks so uncomfortable. I know I'm being dramatic, guys, but she just looked so uncomfortable. He was trying to kiss her all up on her, kept saying her boobs was nice and whatnot. And she was just like, when is this scene going to be over so I could go throw up in the toilet? It's not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. Anyway, we move on to Chris. Here's dramatic, guys. Okay. So Chris is sitting on the balcony, boo-hoo crying. I would have thought I thought it was like, back in season 12 when Vincent got a call that his grandma was sick in the hospital. So I'm like, oh no, what's wrong? Like who in the hospital, or like what's going on? Someone really sick or whatnot? Nicole comes out to say, producer, she was probably chilling. You know what I'm saying? She was probably chilling, and he cried in front of the cameras, and he probably told him like, go get Nicole. So the producer probably went to go get Nicole. I'm not saying any of this happened, but in my mind, because of the fact that I know everything be a facade a lot, this is what, in my mind, I'm thinking what didn't happen. So the producers went to go get Nicole, say, hey, Chris is crying on the balcony. Go to see what's going on so we can film it for the TV show. So you got Nicole coming out to check on him. Hey, hon. Hey, babe, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Like I said, I'm thinking like, okay, so, who not feeling good? Who in the hospital? What's going on? Okay. Wait. Oh, the producers, they said only two dogs can be in the shared apartment. And I know we have 3 dogs, and I just can't do that to my dogs. I can't abandon them. This guy was like really boohoo crying. I understand feeling some type of way, like, oh man, like I want my dogs with me. But no, this guy was boohoo crying. I thought I was a sensitive person. I really thought I was, but clearly I'm great. I'm not as sensitive as I thought, which I can appreciate. My husband, he wasn't even watching the show, okay? The bedroom door was wide open, so he's hearing what's going on, but he's not seeing what's going on. So obviously he hears the situation. And mind you, we have a dog. My husband had several dogs before the dog that we have now. So I can understand as a dog parent feeling some type of way that, if you were in this situation, you can't bring your dog, with you on it. I can understand feeling, dang, like I want my dogs there. I want both my dogs there. But just the way that he was just boohoo crying, my husband was just like, really, bro? I don't remember exactly word for word what he said, but I was laughing. I'm just like, this guy is just really boohoo crying for that. So then that's when, Nicole was trying to console him, like, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. And, he's just like, they get separation anxiety. I'm just like, Chris, like, calm down. We understand the situation. Yes, That's something y'all got to figure out. Yes, that's something that's like messed up, since you guys have like one extra dog. And honestly, I really feel like if they really wanted to, they could accommodate an extra dog. Because the producers, I know they got some type of contract and stuff with the people. They could have accommodated one more dog. I know for a fact they could have. But to make it more dramatic, they said, we ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna call nobody. Because, even they try to talk to them. We know, no, you're gonna have to figure it out. 2 dogs, y'all got 3. Oh, well. One's gonna have to be left behind. So, to be honest, what they should I'm just saying what they should have done. They should have had Gina and Clint. Since, Gina got hanged, Clint don't got no dogs. They should have just put one of the dogs over with Gina and Clint. I'm just saying. Anyway, so, she said they're going to figure it out. Nicole said that. And, Chris still crying, ranting about how he loves them. And, this is the longest he's ever been away from them. And I'm like, Chris, this is how you cry. Okay. I understand. Okay. I understand the situation. But the way he was crying, I'm like, you did not have to do all of this, Chris. You did not. Come on. Relax. Relax, bro. Relax. Relax. His eyes were like really red and poofy. And I'm like, Chris, you doing the most. You kind of doing the most for me. But okay. Then we have Nicole. She calls her dad, asking if he can, be with Charlie, which is her dog. Because she's going to try to see if maybe one week his dogs could be over, then the next week her dog can be over, like go back and forth. So the dad said, yeah, that's sure, that's fine, that's no problem. Did you just want me to bring him down with me to Florida? So then that's when Nicole gets teary-eyed. She's just like, well, I can't be away from Charlie that long. And I'm like, okay, so we both going, okay. So both of y'all going just feel so distraught. Once again, I have to stress, I can understand the situation, but just the way that I feel like Chris was being dramatic, and then now we got Nicole, she's getting teary-eyed at the thought of even being away from Charlie for so long. It's just like, what is going on? Like, this is too much tears going on for me right now. Like, come on, guys. Oh my gosh. So, the dad was just like, okay, well, I can come watch him or whatever. So Nicole said, okay, cool. So after that, she goes to tell Chris the good news, and Chris was like, I'm not going to have you do that. I'm like, what type of, is this telenovela? Is this a new episode of The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful? What is going on here? I'm just like, can we cut this scene? Like, I'm done with this scene already. Like, so he's just like, no, I'm not going to have you do that. And she's like, what she said? And she was like, she's willing to have her dad take him down to Florida for a little bit. And, Chris is appreciating her for that. I'm just like, Nicole, you realize you just got gypped so he could have his dogs at the apartment. I'm sure he did all of this dramatics so you could feel bad for him. Listen, at the end of the day, this just seemed like a little episode of manipulation so he could get his way, get his dogs there, and damn your dog, and wherever he goes stay at, because he gonna feel appreciative. Of course he gonna say all that to make her feel good about herself, but I'm just like, the way he went about this, like boo crying, and are you sure? Like, I'm just like, Chris, get a grip. So that's what's gonna happen. Charlie gonna be the one. They sacrifice Charlie pretty much. Okay, listen, they sacrifice Charlie. They sacrifice Charlie. Poor Charlie. But anyway, we moved in on to Eris and Jasmine. They're having breakfast, and Eris is talking about it's a whole process being in this situation and marriage and whatnot. It's only been a week. And I'm like, Eris is, yeah, exactly. It's only been a week. So imagine it's after 7 weeks. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say, to be honest. But he does tell Jasmine that, he only sees her for like a friendly vibe, because she was just like, she's trying to give him grace. So he said it's only a friendly vibe for right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, because he knows if push come to shove, she's going to be there for him. Okay, Eris, why not? You tell her you're going to be there for her. It's always about you. It's always about, how can she benefit you? Like, I know you said you can do this, you're going to be there for her and her family and whatnot, but like, her and her family, because she got the situation, like, I want to know, what can you do for her specifically? Not for her family, not for her mama, because she got, things going on, with her health. What can you do for Jasmine? Okay, can you rub her feet? Can you feed her grapes? Can you feed her whole lobster tail? Can you buy another lobster tail, cook it, and then feed it to her? Like, what can you do for her? Because all I'm hearing is about you. I know this is your little, he likes to call it his only child syndrome, but no, because a lot of, I know, well, I'm not gonna say a lot, but I know quite a few only children that don't be acting like this. You just acting selfish, okay? It's not even about the only child syndrome, because some people who have siblings, they be selfish too. So no, you just selfish. That's all it is, okay? You the king. No, absolutely not. So what I would say to this scene is you need to do something for her. And even Jasmine was like, I ain't trying to be nobody's friend. Good. But I wish you would have told him, don't tell us in the confessional, Jasmine. You need to let homeboy Eris know, listen, I ain't trying to be your friend. So if you want to get buck with us at the confessional, you need to get buck with Eris and let him know. Because you already did too much, in my personal opinion. But we're going to move on. We get to Nicole and Chris. They tried to talk to the producers and, they can't get three dogs in the apartment, the shared apartment. So they decided that Charlie will stay at her apartment for a while with a family friend. Once again, you got gypped, Nicole. Okay, I understand you be a little too much for me personally, and a lot of people actually out in these streets. But you got gypped, because all Chris had to do was put on the waterworks. That's why he did what he did and got the producers to go get you. In my mind, once again, not saying that's what done happen, but in my mind, that's what done happen. So anyway, the couple's packing up, and we have all these little, moments with all the couples. So Kristen calls Shaq messy. Shaq says, oh no, this is because we're on vacation, but I'm really neat and nice and, at home and all that stuff. Okay, we're going to see Shaq when we get to it next week probably. Then we get Eris. He wants the house to look nice, but wants people to know that, black people live here. Because he likes a lot of black art and, Jasmine calls it modern chic or whatnot. And I'm just like, is that the name for it? Okay. So then we get to McKinley and Dom, and I guess McKinley hopes that the apartment's cold or stays cold. What degrees we talking? Because listen, I like a cold house, and my husband be complaining, but he got me on it because when we first got together, he be putting the temperature at 63 degrees that night. And I was so cold in the beginning because I'm coming from a house where my parents kept it at 75 degrees, no matter what time of day or night. So I was used to the 75 degrees, and he was putting on 63 degrees. So you know what? I got used to the 63 degrees. So now in our apartment here, when we go to sleep, it's on 63 degrees, and he want to be talking about it be cold sometimes. Oh well, this is your fault. Anyway, but this ain't about me. This is about them. And then Clint just talks about he wants to get onto a deeper level with Gina, wants to get back home. We'll see how that works out. Then, everyone gets home safely and gets to the new apartment. It's beautiful. I guess Jasmine and Eris' apartment is 313. So that resonates with Eris because where his dad's from in Detroit, the area code is 313. So he appreciates that, kind of like meant to be sort of thing. So that's cool. And I guess seeing all the pictures and whatnot of him and Jasmine and makes him overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't understand what you overwhelmed about, but okay, whatever. And then Gina and Clint, they're talking. She's still talking something about some physical attraction and chemistry. Excuse me. Gina, I'm so over you talking about, can we dead this, please? I do not want to hear every episode you talking about how you can grow physical attraction and chemistry with Clint. I'm really tired of you. Even when you bring it up with other people and how they doing with it. I just want physical attraction and chemistry to be out of your vocabulary for the rest of this year. I'm not trying to hear this no more. Okay, Gina, please. I like you. I don't hate you, Gina. I think you trying to play victim, in a lot of these situations. But please, I'm so tired of this conversation at this point. This is episode 7, and we just now get into the apartment. I don't need to be dealing with this for the next 29 episodes. We got to deal with this. So please, Gina, please, for me, not even for anybody else, for me, please, okay? Anything else to take from them? Clint is excited about spending time with Hank, Gina's dog, And it seems like he's more excited to hang out with Hank than he is with Gina. So I think that's going to be one of the only plus of being with Gina is because he gets to have a dog because he does like dogs. So that's cool. We then move on to Kirsten and Shaq. They're talking on the couch, and she admits that her closet is a mess. And then they talk about washing clothes, and Shaq asks, do she want to wash their clothes together? She says no. Then asks him, does he have a specific way he likes his clothes washed? So then Shaq was just like, listen, I'll just wash my own clothes. So then she said, okay, good, then I'll wash my own clothes. So I'm like, dang, you don't even want to intermingle socks and pants together. For me, I'm just like, it doesn't matter, it's getting washed regardless. But I mean, if someone does like construction work or work with things that your clothes get super dirty in, I can understand maybe like, yeah, I don't want to do that. But the Shaq ain't that type of guy. Okay, I don't see him doing manual labor. Okay, I feel like look at the stuff he did for the conference thing that they had to go to before the honeymoon. So, you don't got to worry about that. He seemed like a very poshed and put together guy. So I think he literally, if he tries on an outfit, he could just get out of the shower, try on an outfit, and if he don't like it, because of the fact that he put it on his skin, he would put it in the hamper to be washed. So I think you'll be okay, even if you intermingled socks and clothes, Kirsten, but she don't want to mix those clothes. So it is what it is. I'm like, okay, so how you feel about y'all clothes is how you feel about y'all two together, But okay, that's whatever. I'm not going to talk too more on that. Anything else to take from them? No. No, they go to bed, and I'm like, okay, y'all just doing this for the camera, because Kirsten still got her makeup on and got her hair down. And I'm like, I know when the producers don't leave the apartment, she gonna probably put her bonnet on and take her makeup off and really, put on some moo or something. I don't know. But anyway, we then move on to Nicole and Chris. They sit down to talk, and Nicole asks if it was decision day. Would he say maybe? He says yes. So she's like, oh, that's a yes, because I would say yes. And then she asks Chris if he was in love with her yet. He says no. Then she laughed, and she's like, I'm not either. But Chris did admit that he does like her, and she does admit she likes him too. I think she said she liked him. Whatever. But I'm just like, okay, Nicole, please. You were another one. Can we not do this thing? Because I already had to deal with it with Stasha or Stasia, whatever, however you said her name, last season. I don't need to be dealing with you asking him every day, every week, does he love you yet? Let him wait on his own time for when he feels like he loves you to tell you he loves you. Because if you keep asking it, he's going to keep being like, okay, you're being kind of crazy with this question. Because you want to play it off like, oh, I'm not either. But yeah, you keep asking. Look, we seen you the first episode saying you already love him because of the fact that y'all got each other the same stuff. So I don't want to hear nothing you got to say, Nicole. And Chris, listen, you manipulated the girl. I don't care what nobody say. That's my story. I'm sticking to. You manipulated the girl, boo-hoo crying, so you could get your way and have your dogs there versus having, she got one and you got two. But they got separation anxiety and stuff. Okay. But you manipulated her so you could get your dogs there and then boo her dog out. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway. Anything else to take from them? No, he just appreciates her for, sacrificing her dog. He don't say that with her. I'm just paraphrasing. They sacrificed Charlie. Okay, Charlie was sacrificed. So his humping ass dogs could be there. Because I saw the preview. I'm like, oh, Lord. This dog will be humping on everything. So we then move on to Dominique and McKinley. They sit on the couch, they talk, and there was nothing to take from their conversation other than the fact that, he's not the best of cooks, and they agreed that they're going to cook together. So Dominique was just like, oh, it seems like everything that he lacks, I excel in, and, that I can help him out, so I can see why we were a match. You don't know why you're a match, Dominique, okay? You don't know why you're a match. You were a match because y'all both were probably a train wreck because, opposites attract and you guys can balance each other out. Just like the experts be saying every damn season with all these damn couples. So, Dominique, you don't know. You don't know why. Because if the producers really told y'all why y'all was matched together, y'all probably would sue. But you can't because you signed a contract. Anyway, moving on. We get to Eris and Jasmine. Eris is giving Jasmine, they're talking about poop etiquette, and Jasmine realized that Eris is bossy because he's like, okay, I want this side of the sink. I want this side of the closet. And, you can't be having shoes in the house. I don't even let my people have their shoes in the house. So you got to tell your people they can't have their shoes on in the house. And just going like, oh, the dogs can't be on the bed. All this. Okay, well, you know what, Jasmine? I understand you seeing that he's bossy. But if he gonna be bossy, you need to put your foot down and you need to be bossy with him. You need to tell him what you don't like, this, and that. Okay? And please, I hope you not doing everything for him, rubbing his feet, all that stuff behind closed doors, because he need to be doing something for you. Because I feel like you probably doing it behind closed doors and he's still not doing nothing for you. So therefore, if he want to be bossy and feel like he need to be treated like a king, well, I'm going to need you to put your foot down and say something too. Don't tell us in a confessional, because that's all you doing, Jasmine. Well, from what the producers are showing at least. You telling us everything in the confessional, but like, are you telling him to his face what you telling us? Because if you not, then therein lies the problem of why he's doing all this. Maybe he's trying to see how far he can push you until you say something. I don't know. Because some people like to play games. Anyway, anything else to take from them? They sit down and talk. Oh, no, they was eating food. And then he was asking her, would she change anything about the honeymoon? So then she was honestly answering, saying no, going to the reason why. I mean, I paid attention to what she said. I just didn't write it down. So that's why it seems like I don't know what she said. But, in the meantime of while she was explaining this, you see Eris just, just dancing and stuff. Insert the iced tea meme of him, like, dancing and eating. He's just dancing and eating his food and stuff. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was enjoying this food. Did you say something? But you're the one who asked the question. You see what I'm talking about, Jasmine? You see how he be playing you in your face? And you just kind of just roll your eyes and stuff like... So we just gonna just let it slide. We're gonna let the 15 billion things slide that he be doing to like irk your nerves on purpose. I feel like, and I don't really feel like you be saying anything to him on camera or off camera. So, all right, whatever. We move on to day 9 of marriage, and Chris and Nicole, they're waking up in bed, and Nicole said, oh, Chris takes a long time to wake up, and Chris says, well, she be talking too much, so he try not to wake up when she wakes up. Okay, listen, I can see it because Nicole do be talking a lot, so his meantime is probably him sleep. So he trying to sleep as long as he can. I ain't mad at it, but at the same time, you manipulated her so she could sacrifice Charlie, her dog. So, I mean, wake your ass up. And then we move on to the couples. They're starting to go see each other's places. So we start off with Eris. And first thing we see when he walk into his house, first off, if that's his house, he don't share with nobody else. I'm impressed. It was a nice house. Obviously it's the guy's house because, ain't nothing decorated and stuff. But I'm not mad at it. It was a nice house. And the first thing you see when you walk in is his gym. So Jasmine was like, oh, okay, so he really do be into fitness like that because every day on the honeymoon he did go to the gym. So it's nice to see that he really does do this. He true to this, not new to this, because, he's not trying to like not be around me and stuff and avoid me and stuff. So that's good to see. The fact that you said that, Jasmine, is concerning. It's concerning because the fact that you already kind of know his antics is interesting. Because I don't know if you're just collecting all of this to then blow up on him one day, or like where you plan on doing with this information that you're finding out. But it seems like you're just gonna let him slide with everything. That's concerning. Then we move on to his man cave and all this stuff. And, listen, I like this. I thought it was pretty cool. I know a lot of females probably like, that ain't cute, girl. You ain't got no decoration. Listen, if it's his house, that's the way he want to have it. I mean, it's nice. We see a lot of people's houses here that don't look up to par, but his just looks like it just needs, a little oomph and it'll look gorgeous. And I don't recall seeing any black art. He said he likes black art, but there was no black art in his house that I've noticed. Maybe I wasn't paying attention too well, but okay, whatever. And we get into his father. He has pictures in the obituary, the funeral program on his bed, and also his uncle because it was a double funeral. And he has a necklace, so I thought I was cute. And then we see his boxes of shoes. Listen, I ain't mad at it. Eris, do you, boo? I still don't really care for you that much, but I ain't mad at your living situation. So, anything else to take from that? Not really. Jasmine, just got to know Eris a little bit more and understand, I guess, has more of a understanding for why he is the way he is, or okay, this is how he really is. This is not a facade type of thing from the honeymoon. Okay, cool. Then we get to McKinley and Dominique. Pause. Sorry. I just had to take a moment to laugh to myself because this is why I'm just like, Dom, why are you here, bro? Like, okay, we get to McKinley. He's staying in the apartment of his friend's people's house. So Dominique, she not feeling nothing. She thinks it's a weird situation. And McKinley is telling us that, they can figure out a place together. But then after seeing the basement, when they're sitting in the car, McKinley's just like, he didn't want to just jump into the situation and getting an apartment, all this stuff. And then Dom fired back, well, you jumped into a marriage. So what is that about? So he's like, well, you're right. But then he gets kind of flustered and I guess gets out of the car annoyed. And it's like, it's a valid question, Dominique. But therein lies for me, like, why'd you jump into it? Because your mama wanted you to? Listen, I feel like his reasons are kind of more valid than yours. Not saying his reasons are right. Because it's just like, why are you really on the show, McKinley? But I feel like his reasons are more valid than yours. Because you don't even want to be here. You only here because your mama wanted you to be here. Like I said, anybody who had their friends or family, put in the application for them and they really didn't really want to do this, y'all shouldn't have been picked. But I know how these producers be producing, so here you are. But Dominique, this is the moment you just need to be like, listen, I'm sorry. I thought I could do this for my mama, but I can't, so I got to get out. So I hope that's what she do next week when they talk with Pastor Cal. But clearly I'm just like, she's talking about she used to being with guys who are ahead in life, who has their own place, she said something else, more established. And I'm like, okay, Dom, well, clearly you knew you was going to get maybe anybody. So you should not be surprised with who you got. And listen, honestly, I'm not mad at the situation of McKinley living in the basement. If it's saving you money, first off, he don't got nobody. He don't got no kids. He don't got no dogs. He's just by himself. And I don't know if he's paying rent with the friends' peoples, but if he's not paying rent, you get to stack up your money, not having to pay rent. I ain't mad at it. Listen, I love having my own spot. I love it. It's nothing like having your own space. Okay, but at the same time, I would be lying if I didn't think about, dang, man, it was nice living at my people's house. It was nice not having all these damn bills. Okay, this ain't no joke. Okay, so I can understand, but it's just like, ain't like he can't ever get an apartment, because if he's correct with what he said, and I know we at the end because it's already 42 minutes, but I'm just like, in the beginning, first episode of this season, you was talking about you got enough funds that if your wife wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, she could. So maybe it's because Dominique don't know what his funds looking like, so that's why she's just judgmental on him. But I'm not mad at the situation. Like, am I going to move in with you at your friend's family's house to live in the basement? No. Can we get an apartment? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to walk around naked type of thing. So, I can understand that. But in the meantime, if it's just him, he don't got nobody else to worry about. I ain't mad that maybe he's stacking up his money. Now, that's just me being, the optimistic person that I am. But, he could be a bum. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm just, from what he was saying in the beginning of the season, that's what I'm thinking in my brain. But it could be something else. Either way, it ain't gonna work. Either way, Dominique need to just let her mama know it ain't gonna work out. She ain't gonna get no grandbabies anytime soon. And just break it off with McKinley so he could try to go to Gina before what's her name? Dominique go to Clint. That's the end of the episode, guys. I mean, it wouldn't be married at first sight if it wasn't confusing type of situations going on, to be honest with you. So that's it. That's it. I don't. There's nothing else for me to say here. That was episode 7, guys. Jamaican me crazy, and the cast of season 16 is Jamaican me crazy. Mm-hmm. Yes, but if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you laughed at least once, if you smirked, smiled, looked like you was about to laugh at least once, please subscribe. If you didn't laugh, if you didn't smirk, or even did a little chuckle, come back next week. I'll try to make you laugh next week. Please comment what you thought of this episode. This is mess. This is mess. So comment on the mess. Until then, be easy breezy, lemon squeezy. I'll see you guys next week in the next one. Until then, peace.